Hey everybody, welcome back to Make Believe. I'm Calvin Nowell. I'm so glad you guys tuned in because today, y'all, I have a really good episode to talk to you about. It's about maximizing your potential. I don't know about you, but there's times where I've had a lot of opportunities and I didn't maximize my potential or I didn't take what I had and made use of it. And so there are people that I have met along this journey that have been very good at building their social media without all the lights, the cameras, and all these little different things. They took their phone. But not only did they take their phone, this person he has so much rich history as a creative entrepreneur, from songwriting to modeling to all kinds of things. He's a man of faith. He loves therapy. He loves mental health. He is a good friend of mine, and he has over 1.3 million followers on Instagram because he is a thought leader and he encourages people daily. So, with that, I am talking about Nicholas John.
All you need to do is make believe. All you need to do is make believe. When you can't find your way, all you need to do is make believe. In a world of ups and downs, in the shadows where you down, can't afford to keep wasting time. All you need to do is make believe.
All right, here we are.
Here we are.
Welcome.
That was an awesome introduction. I feel really good about myself.
I
Right now.
winged it too.
You did. First try, everybody.
First try. I said, you know what? I know what I'm talking about. So I got to just tell everybody first.
Okay.
This is Nicholas John, and I started to see you on social media, and it would just come up in my feed. And I don't even remember what the first thing that you talked about on social media, but you do this thing with quotes or things that you're reading.
Yep.
And you just kind of came across my feed, and I started following you. And then maybe about a month ago, I guess you commented on something that I did with Jordan
An
McCullough.
amazing song.
A song or
Yep.
something. And then when American Idol had the people come together for Jordan's homecoming thing,
Yep.
I was there, you were there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you from Instagram.
That's how I felt about you.
And so we both were like, oh my gosh, I love what you do. And I was like, I
Yeah.
love what you do. And so, this is a new friendship. And, we went out to dinner that night, and I'm trying to ask questions. But today is about me asking you about your journey. So before we dive into all the things that you do, tell me a little bit about, your journey here in Nashville or wherever you started.
Yeah, I will. I grew up in Wisconsin,
Okay.
and I started making music in college. It was out of nowhere kind of for me. And I eventually moved to Nashville. I'm leaving a lot out, but I eventually moved to Nashville to chase songwriting. And
Okay.
so that was kind of where I learned that I had creative instincts, I guess, and I really liked creating things. And then that kind of took me into video. It took me into acting. And then somehow I'm in this social media world sharing books and quotes. And I don't know how that's a job or that's a thing, but it's a thing.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
How did you get into video?
Actually, when I stopped doing music, I just became obsessed with cameras. I don't know why. I really believe that God makes us, certain things just are interesting to us that aren't interesting to other people. And I just knew I was really, really interested in it. And so I
Okay.
just followed it. And then I started to realize, wow, I can actually make money doing this versus music. I was making no money. So that was another, enticing step, I guess, to provide for myself. But that was what led down that journey. And then I really felt like I was using my creative gifts for other people versus when I was doing music, I actually didn't really have faith or didn't believe in God. And so I was kind of doing it for myself. Like I was trying to make myself really cool. And then it flipped right around that video time, asking myself, how can I use my gifts for other people?
Yeah.
And that's what that led to.
So then I just want to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So then the music thing, like what kind of style of music were you doing? Were you doing it like really, professional, or was it just a hobby, or where did you land with music?
It's a good question. I don't really know. It was I was definitely chasing it pretty hard, but I was also dealing with some like addiction stuff at that time. And so I don't really, I was half trying to get my life together, half chasing music. And so looking back, like if I was doing it now, I think I would do it a lot harder, I guess, or I would go at it harder. But it was just a season of my life where I had to battle some other things. But yeah, I was doing all types of music. Like I look back now and you know how it is. It's like kind of cringe at some things you did 15 years ago. So it was anywhere from like melodic rapping to like beachy stuff to all over the place. Country music. I was trying to find myself.
You're trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
So you kind of took a pivot and got into the video.
Yes.
And then did you let go of music? You still do music, or you just said, this was better, I'm going to stay focused on this?
I think I'll do it one day, but it's always there in the back of my mind. And sometimes, I play guitar for fun and stuff. But yeah, I really recognized slowly that I like have this sense for video of like what's going to hit someone emotionally. Yeah. And I can just feel it like, and that, I don't know. Well, sense it right now for my audience. They watching. Sense what they need. What do you guys need?
So how did you, so you got in the video.
Yeah.
And then how did the mental health, the wellness, where did that all came? Did that come before you started making social media content, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Tell us. So it was basically what I just talked about with the music thing. I was kind of also trying to figure my life out. And that's when I moved in with a buddy who really started kicking my butt health-wise, and that was like the start of the journey. And then I just got really into books. I really became fascinated with the idea that I could read something and like adopt someone's life view from it, and I could see what they learned throughout their whole life in 3 hours, and I could be like, wow, I don't have to make those mistakes myself. I can just hear from them. And it was just fascinating to me. I was just searching for like, why do people do what they do? How do they see this crazy thing we call life? Like, what conclusions have they come to?
And so you're an avid reader, I take.
Yeah.
And then, so now I kind of want to just, early on in the episode, just talk about, you have 1.3 million followers and counting.
Crazy.
In 2 years.
Yeah, crazy.
But most of it, about 1 million, came in a year, right?
Yeah.
Tell me that journey of just how it even started, what made you do it, what motivated you to go to social media?
For sure. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I did the video thing, and I was doing it for a bunch of clients, so like brands and even podcasts. And sometimes they would want me to be in charge of their social media. So I would do that. And somehow, some way in like 2020 or 2021, I saw someone sent me TikTok, and they were like, you should use this platform for your music, is why they sent it. Okay. And I just started looking into it, and I was like, this is so genius. It's going to send the video to 200 people. Based on how they react, it'll go to 500. Based on how they react, it'll go to 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. And this was at the same time that I was really, like, I just had started diving into Jesus and my faith and realizing that the question was, how can I provide value to other people? How can I use what I've been given for the betterment of other people? Like, I didn't think that way before I came to faith. And so I heard about this TikTok thing, and I was like, what am I good at? I'm really good at golf. Let me make a video about how to hit it out of the sand. And so all my friends, I've been helping them with golf because it was my whole life, like when I was 2. And I made a video, and the first day I got like 1.5 million views. And
on golf?
On golf, yeah. There's a big golf market out there.
Now, what did you do? It sounds like, guys, you just swing it this way.
Yeah, no.
Or is it like...
So the way I think about content in general, this will bleed over into things, is like, when I heard it, it blew my mind. Like, those are the things I share. I don't just share things that I've heard 1 million times. It's like, it has to have had an emotional effect on me when I heard it, or it just like was a light bulb moment. And so it was this tip that I would give all my friends about how to hit out of the sand. Hitting out of the sand is hard. And so it was just a visual tip that I made. Like, it was only 7 seconds long. I wasn't even talking. It was just text, Like pretend there's a T under your ball for all the golfers listening. Pretend there's a T under your ball and you're going to snap it in half. It won't make sense, but if you golf, you'll understand. It's because you need a lot of speed when you hit that shot, but you can't hit the ball. It's whatever. I'm not going into details, but it was a mind blowing thing for me when I would share it with their friend or with my friends, and so I knew that it would be interesting to a lot of people,
Right.
And that's why I chose that one first. And
Got you. So you kind of knew how to do a quick hook.
Yes.
And then that's when you did the video, and then it
Yes.
went viral overnight. Did you think it was gonna go viral, or did you have any, or are you just kind of shocked, like, oh my god?
I was shocked for sure because I'd never experienced anything like that. But the type of person that I am in a little bit is I want to understand something before I do it. So I really looked into like, what does this algorithm care about? And it cared about how many people watch the whole video and how many people make it past the first 3 seconds. And so I was thinking about all those things when I made it. And so it wasn't just like a guess. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to pause here because, guys, I have been telling you guys, if you've been watching Make Believe, marketers and people that do advertising and marketing, they study people. They study the audience. They study behaviors. And I've done a podcast previously about just knowing your audience. Like, study your audience and just know what they like, what they don't like. And it's really coming out of serving them. Would you agree?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And so that's what so right now, as you're saying, I'm like, see, I told y'all, serve your audience, serve your people. And so you were just basically researching what people liked, and you were trying to offer something that they would like.
Yeah.
And then you crafted it creatively. Now, when you did that, was that like with major cameras, or was this like with their phone?
Yep.
Were you at a golf? Do you have the video that you can send me?
I could, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted. I want to see. Like, was it like professionally done, or was it just your phone?
It was just a phone, and most of my stuff, even to the point with this other account, getting 1 million followers, was all with a phone. So I had the capabilities and I had the cameras. I have them all, but I actually thought I'm always thinking, what do I think these platforms prefer? And I think they prefer people filming them on their phone in general, but also I just wanted to make it easy for myself. I want the least barriers I can possibly have to sending something out or like actually doing it, because the more cameras and things you add, the harder it gets.
Yeah, well, I know exactly what you mean. It gets tough, and it's like a lot of processes that you have to consider. And so before I get into the practical of all of that, so what made you go from the golf video into the more motivational videos that you do now?
Yes, so I did the golf thing for a little bit, but then I was also just reading all these books, and I just came across something that totally blew my mind when I learned it. And so I was like, I should share this, but I don't know where to share it. So I did it on another account, and that one did the same thing. Like a lot of people watched it, million something. And but it was a crazy concept that like really.
What was it?
Okay, I'll give it to you briefly.
Yeah.
It's called the pain pleasure balance. So it was like a new finding that for every pleasurable experience that you have, like for example, if you eat a Snickers bar, you have an equal response of pain. So you go down, and that's when you want another one. And so for every time, if you're stacking up stimulation, like if you're scrolling, eating Snickers, all these things, then later the pain is going to be deeper.
You don't feel bad or guilty, or
well, it's just you're gonna want it again because the stimulation is gone. But the biggest part of it all is that the more you add stimulation on top of itself, your baseline drops, meaning how you feel just if there's nothing going on. So that's like what can create depression if you are just constantly stimulating yourself. Your brain's just trying to balance it out. And so it lowers your baseline. And so that's why like people love doing really hard things like cold plunges and running and stuff, because it actually does the opposite. You have pleasure after.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy.
That's really deep. So I can see now, I can see why this went viral, because I've always said this. People on social media are looking for their story, not your story. They're looking for their story. Yes. And when you can help them connect the dots to their story, I almost say that's kind of the recipe for going viral or building something on social media, because that's happened for me with the music thing. Like I just was trying to really sing to the Lord.
Yep.
And then, but what happened was I started to see that this was serving people in their
Yes.
devotions. And I was like, oh, well, I can help you with that because I love to do that on my own personal time. So I started to serve. I didn't just do one song with a verse, chorus, and bridge and out. I just said, well, let's just be this 10 minutes. And now when I see people on the street, they stop me and they're showing me their phone like, Calvin, you're on my playlist. I keep hearing you're on my YouTube playlist. You're on my playlist. And all it does is say that I go to YouTube, because YouTube's a search engine. It's not like Instagram where you're just scrolling just to pass time. It's people are going there because they're looking for something in particular. And so what you do is, whether you're changing your tires and you do a video, somebody that needs their tires changed is going to go there and find your video. But what I'm hearing is the intentionality that you had by taking things that blow your mind and packaging it where they can understand it. And that's probably why they say try to hook them in the first three seconds, because you kind of do that. Do you do that in your videos? Is there like a strategy of how you record, or is there like you kind of introduce, like, I'm gonna talk about faith today, and then you kind of go into it? Is that how you structure it a little bit?
Yeah, I think the first thing I want to say is that I think this conversation, what you said at the start, where it's like, what value are you providing? What is the person getting out of it? Instead, like, what was it? How did you say it? They're on social media.
They're looking for their story, not your story.
Exactly. Like, it can sound gimmicky, all this 3-second hook talk and this all, like, keeping the video shorter. All those things can sound like we're scheming, but I think the reality of, like, this algorithm and why it's created so well is that it's just bringing things to people that make them feel something and make them, usually, it makes their life better, or they laugh at it, or it's interesting. And I think a lot of people try and, like, hack it or whatever, but that's all it's doing, is bringing the stuff that makes people have an enjoyable experience, or they learn something to the top. And so, I'm intentional about my first 3 seconds, but it's because I believe the brain needs to understand where it's going. Like, when I see a video, I just think of myself scrolling. Like, what do I need? And I believe I need the context quick. I need to know why I'm going to watch this fast. And so, like, a lot of times I'll say, like, this quote about relationships really impacted me. Now the person knows, like, this is going to be about relationships, and it's a profound quote that impacted him. That's information that will, I'm not trying to gimmickly hook them. I'm just trying to give them context for what I'm about to share.
Yeah. So do you see people respond to your videos of, like, man, I go to you for daily inspiration? Like, are they following you because of the quotes? Or are they into other things that you do in your life? Or do you compartmentalize your life and just keep your channel about the quotes, and then you do other things on another channel? How does that work?
Yeah, I compartmentalize it for sure.
Okay.
And I debate on that sometimes, but I kind of, over the past 6 months, have my wife and I actually had a therapy session about this, because we don't know how to describe what I do. Like, people will be like, what do you do? I'm like, I share books online. I don't even know. I share quotes.
Creator?
Yeah, but I don't like that term.
Okay.
But
Why?
Just because it's roped in with, like, all styles of that, and I want to be like a positive version of that.
Thought leader?
Yeah, I think there's just really negative versions of it too, in my opinion. But I compartmentalize it, but I've started to just, like, describe what I do as, like, I'm just a video form of a devotional. Like, it's just like a 30-second little, like, something to hopefully make you think or lift your day. And I also am like a curator. Like, I'll go do all the work reading and searching, and then I'll just bring you my favorite things. And so that is what I think a massive hack for social media in general is, if you're really interested in something, a lot of people aren't interested in that enough to do the deep diving like you would be. Yeah. And so I'm really interested in humans and why we're here and all this stuff that I'll go read for 4 hours or whatever.
Reading for the people.
Yeah, and then if something stands out, I'm like, wow, I got to share that. But everyone, I believe, has those things
Yeah.
that they really like that other
Yeah.
people don't like, and you can just be the person who
Wow.
who does the studying and brings the best stuff to the people. Whether
Right.
it's like the people who find hidden songs that no one knows about. That's a lane. Like people.
Yeah, that's a solution to a
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
And that's
Exactly.
what I always say. Like, and even in our faith walk, I believe God created us to be solutions to problems. You know what I mean? That's what Jesus was. He was a solution to a problem. And I've always said, if you're not being a solution, then you're a problem. It's like it's just two ways to kind of look at life. Either I'm contributing to solutions,
Wow.
or I'm being a problem by my lack of obedience or discipline or whatever.
Negativity.
And so negativity. Yeah. And so what I'm learning is what you just really need to do is to find a way to solve something for people. And there's so many things that people are looking for, they don't have the answers to. And so what I'm hearing is you're saying, well, hey, you don't have to read. You might not be a reader, but I'm going to go read about this topic, and I'm going to take what I think is really great, and I'm going to, give it to you in bite-sized
Yes.
portions, and people are loving it, and then they're following you. Yeah. Now, the question that I have to ask is, so the people that are watching, somebody's like, well, I like to do that. Like, is it just easy for anybody to do that, or is it because the tough questions are like, oh, he's a model, so of course he's gonna have 1 million. What about the person that's not a model? What do you think? Can they grow in their social media? And I know you don't have the answer about how that works, but kind of speak to that, because I don't want people to watch this and say, yeah, it's easy for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus I think it's because of what you do, how you approach it, and how you're being a solution is why you have the following.
Yeah, I obviously don't know the answer to that question, but I do believe we all have different gifts, and wherever those lead us to go, like we should go there and use them, and so God gave us all different gifts, and so yours might be to not be a content creator, it might be to coach a sports team or whatever it is, but I don't know. We're situated for certain things, and I can't explain that. But I will say, like, I sometimes feel like my gift, I guess, is like just like, for lack of a better word, like channeling things. Like I just sit there and I just feel what comes to me and I just say it. And I think about it and I try to say something that's going to be helpful. But none of it's planned or like scripted, really.
So you don't script any of that?
No.
You're winging it?
Winging it. But I'll sometimes film it multiple times. Like I'll for sure film it multiple times. But to me, it's just like I'm working on a book right now. It's just like that. It's like you're just sitting there and words are coming from nowhere. Or the same with songwriting. Like, I think some people have that gift. Cool. That is amazing. Yeah. Use it. But not everyone has that, and that's okay. And maybe even if you're a content creator and you don't have that, maybe yours looks different. But I don't know.
I want to try something. This is a little exercise. You can cut it.
Yeah.
You can say nope, and we'll just take it out of the episode.
Okay.
So, what are you feeling in this moment? I would love to try, like how you do a video. We're not leaving this space. What are you feeling in this moment that if we could reenact, like your Instagram video and wing it and I'm your audience. And what do you think that I need to hear in this moment? Okay.
So it'll start with me going through notes that I have of like things that I've heard or books. I'll start sifting through books and be like, oh, wow, I remember that hit me. So it has to start with like a form of inspiration. So I could pull a quote off the top of my head. One of my favorite ones from Tony Robbins is change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And so change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And so it's, to me, that just is telling someone like, change is going to be painful, but so is staying the same. So
Yeah.
whatever sparks in you, whether it's like me in the past was addictions, or you're not talking to your spouse about something, whatever's causing you pain, you can either deal with it now, or you can wait till it gets so bad and then you have to deal with it.
That's perfect. I love that thought. So what I want to do, this is so funny. This is just, I'm so wild with it, okay? I got my phone.
Okay.
You're going to just do like what you do.
Okay.
You're just going to do what you do, and I'm going to film you.
With a mic?
Yeah, just like this. And this is your video at your house doing what you do because you have a phone, and that's all you use, and that's what I got.
You on cinematic mode?
See, that's what now see, that's why. Okay, gotta be cinematic. See, y'all, did y'all hear that?
Cinematic.
You gotta be cinematic. Okay, and why cinematic?
Because it creates like a bokeh in the back, which means like there's blur, and then it focuses the people on your face. So it focuses the subject of the video.
Got you. Oh, look at it.
We're learning already.
Okay, so then now we have lights here, but when people do this, and you're gonna show me before you leave.
Yeah.
Where in my house I can just do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So here we go. 3, 2.
All right, here we go. This is one of my favorite quotes. It's from Tony Robbins. He says, "Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change." And so what that means to me is that if you have something in your life that you feel like you need to change, it's either going to get to a place where it's so painful that you have to change, or you can choose to do that now. So let's think about that. Hope you have a great day. Simple.
Dude. And that's all. That's literally all you
That's
do.
all I do. Yeah.
And then, of course, you give them the smile at the end. But that's awesome, too, because I give them the smile, too, if I had the smile. But that's pretty much all it is. You just kind of think about what you want to say. Mm-hmm. And then you go and then you craft the way to say it.
Yep.
Then you say it. And then...
And let me tell you some other details. So,
all right.
like I said, I'm just sitting there and I'm feeling it out. And so instead of writing it or whatever, I'll film it and I'll sift through it. And sometimes I will... This is the secret sauce.
Okay, come on. Right here on Make Believe. Come on.
Like, I like to really think about what I'm going to say next because I want it to land the way I want it to land.
Yeah.
And so with video, you have the benefit of being able to cut things. And so if I said that and then I said the quote and then I said a line that I liked, but I didn't know what was going to come next, I will literally just pause and I'll sit there and think. And then I'll come in with the next line. And then afterwards, I'll cut that space out.
You cut the space out, yes.
Because I want every line to be impactful. Because people are I'm selfish when I scroll. I want it to be good. And if it's not, I'll pass it.
Right.
And so I want every line to be useful.
So you're not like, I'm going to talk about faith. And
yeah, never.
You're
never.
getting rid of all the
Never.
and You're just like, cut, going to the next point.
No,
okay.
No time, because I just want it to be as useful as possible. And so... yeah, and when you do that, you have to do little things like you can't move, and when you're thinking, because if you move, then it's gonna be a jump cut, and you're over here.
Yeah.
Like, you just like change positions as much time. You gotta if you're thinking about it, that's just how I do it.
You go at a slower pace.
I go slow
and think it through.
And a lot of times it'll start crystallizing in my mind by like sometimes it'll be the first take, and then sometimes it'll be like, no, I feel like I can do better than that. I feel like I can do better than that. And I'll do like 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
And, but a lot of times I'll take like the initial excitement of the first clip and put that in there.
Now, I got to ask you this. So, okay, it looks great, sounds great. Let's talk about the lighting and let's talk about the audio, because we can't act like yours is just on the phone. There's something you're doing, because you got your voice sounding like a radio. I'm like, what are you doing, Nick? Come on, tell me.
I will say, though, for the first, I hate to say it this way, but like the first 1 million followers, like the first year and a half,
yeah,
It was literally just a phone.
Just a phone.
There was no microphone.
Did you do something with the audio? Because I did learn tricks that people could do on their audio of their phone.
I didn't. No.
Okay.
It was just.
Look at me. I'll be wanting just. You gotta have an excuse. And he's like, no, just favor. Okay.
No excuse.
All right.
But now I do. I hang a boom mic right there.
Okay.
And it plugs straight into my phone. So
plug straight into your phone. So you got a boom mic plugs into your phone.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, why are we hearing on the lows in his voice? You like, have a great day. It's like, have a great day.
Everyone
like,
says that I do that, and I don't. It's because I film them in the morning, and I'm like, they're like, what's this Zoolander voice or whatever? I'm just like, I don't do that intentionally at all. That's just how I talk to a phone, I guess.
That's how you it's probably early.
Yeah, it is.
Now, so you do it early, and is this because of lighting?
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
So where do you, I mean, I haven't been to your house, but like, is it your office or something? Is it near a window?
Yeah. When I picked the apartment we were going to live in, I had to go there like every 2 hours to see what the light was going to do because it's so important to me.
Oh, now we getting into see, there it is. So you kind of picked the spot that really worked well.
I knew exactly what I needed and where. Like I needed my office to have light from like 8 to 12. And so because that's when I'm most creative and my best self. So,
Got you.
So yeah, it's usually the sun comes up right over, this horizon or whatever, and it's best when it's lowest for me for the video quality. But it's called, what is it called? When you diffuse it, you have to diffuse light with something, and you need a sheet or something to soften it on your face. So secret sauce.
Okay, because
yeah,
you're gonna show me something before we get out of here.
I got you.
So there's gonna be a part of this episode, guys, where we're just gonna go somewhere in my house, and he's gonna show me try this.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna start talking to y'all in the Nicholas John tutorial that you guys are going to see. Okay, so I kind of figuring out how you do it. Now the big question is, how did you leverage it to make a living, or does it, I don't know. Is it just that you have a following, you do this as a hobby, or has it turned into something, that rewards you financially? And I don't want to get into your money business, but I just wanted to know for people that are watching, how can they leverage a growing platform into something that pays you back?
Yeah, actually, there was a quote from Alex Hormozy that it really impacted me at the start of this journey. He said, like, if you provide value without asking for anything in return for 2 years, you'll never have to worry about money again in your life. And so I just took that to heart. I was like, all right, I'm just going to provide value, and I'm going to work doing other things to provide for myself, and I'm going to see what happens here. And because I believe on social media, especially, like, all you have is people's trust. Because like, you're a trusted person for them, and that's valuable and it's important. And so the last thing I want to do is break that trust. Yeah. And so, the way I thought about it was, how can I provide even more value? And so I started creating products. So I created a journal that it's essentially. There's a journal called the 5-Minute Journal, which is a great. Okay. I love it. It's amazing. And
self-published, or you just made it your own?
So I didn't make that one. That was one that I was using, but there wasn't like a Christian version of that. And so I just thought of some questions that really impacted me in the mornings, like how can I show up more like Jesus based on my schedule today? How can I love people today? Those simple questions that, when you ask them to yourself, they make you show up intentionally. I was like, that could be cool. And so I made that in the course of like a week, and started just having people buy it. And it was providing more value without just like, selling it away. And so that was how I thought about it. And then I made a book club that was people from all over the world and coming in on Zoom. And that was like it was a membership. I thought it was an amazing deal for what it was.
You still have that, or?
We actually don't. It's free now.
Okay.
I ran that for 2 years, and that was twice a week. It was amazing. It was people from everywhere, all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, it was super cool.
So you got 1 million plus bona fide followers. They're they're into what you do. It's not necessarily bots or just non-engaged people. You see the engagement of the audience.
For sure.
Excuse me. But you talk to them do you talk to them directly through your platform, or do you have them sign up, and you email them?
I should be better about that.
Okay.
I don't. Everyone tells me like I need to get them off the social platforms or whatever. I just hate back end email stuff.
Yeah.
And one day maybe I'll partner with someone who
Claude.
does that. Yeah. Yeah, you got to teach me. But yeah, right now it's just on social media. So I'll just every, I don't know, 6 months now, I'll share
Okay.
the journal and be like, hey, you should check this out.
Gotcha.
I created it if you're new here. And yeah, but
And then so you do that, and then are you a public speaker? I'm just. So really, just it all comes through like the products that you sell.
yeah,
Correct.
pretty
and
much.
I think you still do acting and modeling stuff too
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, I'll always do that because I just love it. Like,
Really? So
yeah.
what's the most recent commercial that you were in that you can share? That
I have one next week. It's a Dick's Sporting Goods for golf, and so golf is like my favorite thing.
You're gonna
And,
be golfing.
Yeah, I'll just be golfing, and it's,
So you
it's
get
awesome.
some of the big brands for the acting stuff. So it's not just like me and my friend just acting. I got you know what.
What?
I haven't talked about this, but I'm gonna just say it. I have a jingle that I've written for a major brand, and I'm not gonna say it here. And I wrote it, and I think it's really good. And I wanted to mock up a commercial, and I think you would be amazing. I want you.
I gotta know.
I'll tell
it better not be like Trojan condoms.
No.
I'm kidding.
But I'm not gonna tell what it is because I don't want to reveal it yet.
Okay.
But when we finish, I want to just show you or tell you what
Please.
it is. I can play you the jingle, but
Yes.
And so I just been really into that. But so you do social media, you build a following, you either teach them a course, sell a book, or had a book club, and then you also do creative work through acting, modeling, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, where do you see it going, or where would you like it to go in the future? Would it be to really put the pedal to the metal and just really maximize it more, or is it like you want to get into something else?
It's a good question. I think I'm kind of in a season of thinking about this, and I've tried a lot of things. Like I did a podcast for a while, and I really enjoyed it. But
What happened?
I'm working on a book right now, so it was hard to do both.
Gotcha.
And so it was just like my time was split in too many directions.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've tried a lot of different things, and I mean, to me, the main thing that I just love is making videos. And so I want to lean more into that. You and I have talked about YouTube.
Yes.
Trust me, I'm thinking of it.
You got to come over.
I'm scheming.
You got to.
Just because I just want to see how can I add value in a longer format and what does that look like for me. So I'm thinking about that. But then I love making products too. I really love that part. That's one of my favorite things. So I think I'll lean into that, but I really don't know. People have told me to do speaking, but I feel like I just feel so unqualified for that. Like I'm such an imposter. Like I'm not your guru, people I don't
are
know.
looking for authenticity, though.
I guess,
And
yeah,
you just-
I can do that.
People, that's all people want. Like I don't even think we want a guru because we don't even trust.
It's a good
them.
point.
Like it's like, man, he just, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. Because either the guru has to be like Gary Vee, and that's why people like him because he cusses you out.
He's real,
and
too.
he's not trying to be somebody. He's
True.
just being who he is, and people's like, you know what, I can really get with that because he's not trying to be like, well, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about marketing.
Yeah,
and the main
good-
thing with marketing,
good point.
You have to remember that.
He's like, you effing
Yeah, he's
I'm going to
like,
a garage sale.
I listen. I thought about having him on my show one day, and I would love to have him on my show, but I'm
Yeah.
going to put a disclaimer, for my Christian audience, like censor, But I might not even censor because I don't even feel like I want to because sometimes I want to be able to hear from somebody that is just real, that understands the reality. Now, I won't do that on my platform, but I'm not going to sit here and filter him. It's like having a plumber. Can you tell me about the toilet and how this things work? And if he swears, I'm not going to be like,
I'm not listening.
I'm not listening. Like, do you want the toilet to work or not? Because you're going to have a problem if you don't have that fixed. So I think you do have a space in other platforms. Like, and off camera we can talk about it, but I really do think like, man, You should maximize all the platforms, and I guess selling your content. Well, with everything that's going on, this is what I was going to say, and this is for everybody that's listening and watching. With social media, with AI, everything that's happening, it's scaring a lot of people of what can I do. But what I've been listening to some really cutting edge marketers, they're saying teaching is the next thing. Like teaching, if you can teach, teach people something is where the money may lie. You know what I mean? So that's something that I would consider because there's AI, but if people don't know what to do, they don't know how to do it, they don't know how to apply a lot of different things, and maybe it's just teaching, and maybe it's taking the course or taking the class or taking your Nicholas John mastermind or I just think teaching, and that's even something that I'm even wanting to do because I do like, it's not even me doing it for a gimmick. It's just me saying, I love to be solutions to problems.
Yeah,
And so
you're good at it.
it may not be everybody, but I can at least, mentor or create opportunities to help people get better at what they do. And so I want to transition before we wrap it up, because what I don't want to do with this interview is just paint you as a social media guy, and which you are that, but there's so much more to you than just social media. I just want to dab into a little bit what your thoughts are on mental health, because I love mental health, and I just want to know what's been your experience in mental health. Have you you believe in therapy? What's your thoughts? Tell me.
Big time. Yeah. I think back to when I was a kid, some of my friends would always be like, "Why are you always like analyzing why people do things? Like you're just always thinking about that." And I didn't think that was weird, but I think about that a lot. And I like to understand like motivations for why we do things. But I think I do therapy. My wife and I do couples therapy. I think there's infinite things to learn about, why certain things in our life impacted us and how they changed how we show up and stuff like that. But
How'd you get into it?
it was that journey of just realizing that
Hidden dead
information could really help me, it could help my perspective shift. But I think in like today's world, I just think that vulnerability and authenticity and the feeling that you aren't alone is like the key to life, because right now a lot of us feel alone because we believe the lie that we're the only one who's got something that's hard in our life. And it's very easy to look at social platforms or just look at the surface of other people's lives and think that they got it all going on and you're the one who behind closed doors is struggling. And I just think that is like the biggest lie ever.
Yeah.
And the greatest feeling on the planet is realizing you're not alone in that. And it's just important for us to all find some type of community, some type of friend that you can talk about what's really going on and they can talk about what's really going on for them. And maybe it's not the same, but you'll realize no one has it all together.
Nobody.
And it's a beautiful thing to realize that, because then you start to see people differently and you realize we're all in this together and we're all struggling with something.
That's so funny you say that, and I'm going to talk about this in future episodes, but I'll give a little preview because, one thing I've always been kind of vocal about is my health journey and where I struggle with weight, and I'm in a good process now of losing. But, one of the things that I've always said is we all have a weight. And the weight is defined in not the Bible. Weight is defined in the dictionary as anything that impedes motion. So anything that slows you down is a weight.
Wow.
And, in Hebrews, it says, lay aside every weight and sin that so easily besets you. And what I realized in my journey is that we all have an appetite out of control. You might see mine, but I may not see yours.
Wow.
And sometimes people that have addictions, let's just say if you have an addiction to something and it turns your skin purple, you wouldn't judge me because you have purple skin and I'm overweight. So we sitting here together with a weight that we're both carrying. And I started to realize that the playing field is really level. We're all dealing with something, like some more than others, but there's not a lot of, you do look different than me. You do look different from me. You're the complete opposite. But that's okay though. But there's so much in common
Yeah.
beyond the surface. And that's the thing. It's like I'm the complete opposite from you. You're growing because of what you be able to do, but I'm also growing too by being my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I want to encourage people. Like, you just got to be authentic. And sometimes mental health is just getting to a place where you can finally just be who you are. You can let your hair down. You don't have to front. You don't have to pretend. You can just really be who you are. And I normally save these conversations for my worship podcast before I get all deep. But the thing that I learned the most in mental health is you can't connect the dots until you collect the dots. And a lot of times we're trying to make things connect in our lives, but we don't have all the dots. And so I've learned through therapy, it's like, this is not working. This is not working. Let me go talk to somebody to help me find the extra dot. And then here it is. Now it makes sense because I needed to collect the dots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was trying to connect them, but didn't have it all. And so I just know that you're a mental health person. Is there anything that you're planning to do in the future around mental health, or are you looking for other experiences, or do you know where good retreats are, anything like that?
Well, now I'll say you just got me fired up, and I just
Come
want
on.
to keep talking
You
about
keep
this.
talking.
But one thing I want to say to add on to your point is, it's very easy, first of all, to judge when someone's struggle is outward facing and it's obvious, or it's like you can see it, like you said. But the reality is that everyone either has an outward facing one or they have an inward one, and they're both difficult. And so knowing that, but one of my absolute favorite quotes is, "You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." And so these struggles we have are on purpose, I believe, because God places them in our life so we can overcome them, and then we can reach our hand back and help
Yes.
5 other people get through it.
Yeah.
Because that is the most fulfilling thing we can possibly do with our life.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like, that's the only thing I feel like I tapped into, is I was so obsessed with learning about myself and learning about the human condition, and then it helped me a little. I'm still far from perfect, but I still can reach back and try to help someone who's behind me. But I still am learning from people who are ahead of me in other areas.
Yeah.
And so it's just, we all have these struggles for a reason.
That's incredible. So then, to land the plane, this is because this podcast is called Make Believe. And my premise, I'll say it again just in case you need to know, and I've heard this from Oprah. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you believe is possible. And so I always like to ask people about their belief. So tell me, who was one person that believed in you that really transformed your life? Like if you had to say, man, this person impacted me, and who believed in you?
Man, there's a lot of people. The easy one for me to say is my parents always trusted my crazy dreams and
that's good.
my crazy ideas. They never tried to hold me back from that.
So when you was like, I want to do this, were they like, go for it? Or was it
Yes.
like, because my dad, rest your soul, Dad, rest your soul. But he was like, you ain't gonna make no money in that. You trying to go down there and chase those dreams. You got to get you a job, So I didn't get that. But your parents were pretty, cheerleading you on, right?
Yeah, I just think it's easy for a parent to kind of come from a place of fear and be like, how's that going to work? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to do all this? But I think that, I don't know, they were just so encouraging of me just doing something that really got me excited. And I think that's just because of how the life that they had and had to kind of carve their own path with maybe people saying they shouldn't, that they decided they didn't want to be that for me. So
yeah,
I feel really lucky for that.
Well, the last thing is, I wanted to ask you a question. I asked everybody, what would you say to encourage people that are watching? How can they make belief in their life? Or what would you encourage for the person that is trying to understand social media, trying to understand their calling, trying to understand all the things that we kind of talked about? What would you say to them?
I'd say everything that's good in life is hard sometimes. And so you can either, experience the hard of you never tried, or you could either try it. You could try it and you could see what happens. And that's going to be hard too. But you might feel, I believe you will feel better if you follow these nudges that are inside of you and maybe God's sending to you and you just follow through with it. See what happens.
That is brilliant. And what I want to do to end on that, we are going to go and I'm going to record a video in my house the way that you kind of do it. We want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So remember what that just was.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do in my stories to let people know to preview it.
Okay.
We're going to do that next. But brother, I just want to thank you for being on this podcast. I know there's so much more to you. There's a deeper well, but how can people follow up with you? Like, are you just your website, Nicholas John _
nicholasjohn.co, or just go to social media and it's Nicholas John, 2 H's. So NicholasJohn and then 2 underscores. But
2 underscores.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Brother, thank you for being on this show. I really appreciate you. And let's hang out again.
I'm down. I loved it.
All right, y'all. That's it. We'll see you next time. I'm Calvin Nowell, and make sure you make belief happen.